Hey YouTube, Joe Walker here at Deft Digits Guitar Lessons, and I'm going live right now for my student Cooper, who's missing his lesson today. Cooper has just become enamored with that song I was just playing, Miserlou, which features a lot of very fast picking on the low E string. It's all on one string, or that whole section of it is. Later on, he switches to a different string and does the same kind of melody on that string. But the song features, in the right hand, this technique called tremolo picking, where your right hand is just picking back and forth on one string. And oftentimes this can be used in like that's the end of the solo in Jimmy Eat World's The Middle. Things like that, where you want to play a melody and it's like your right hand just kind of flutters on that string, and it's sort of like taking a violin bow across the string, or blowing through a saxophone, where you can get more sustain on the note. You're really just attacking the note again and again. You can make it even louder as you go. So it's a little bit like you have that control that you have over with a violin bow, where you don't just pluck the note and let it decay and you have no control over that. You can actually make it swell and come back down again when you're doing that with tremolo picking. So, and it sounds really cool, no matter how you employ it. So Cooper has been fascinated with this concept, and he has just started synchronizing to a metronome. So I want to give another primer of what we started in the last lesson and just continue from there. So I've got my physical metronome like this, where I can turn the dial and get all sorts of different tempos. You can find them on your smartphone. Just download one. That works just fine. I use this because instead of my smartphone, just because I like the physical sensation of moving that, and I can do it very quickly, a lot quicker than I can click-clack around on the touchscreen of my phone. So I've got it set at 60 beats per minute to start with. And here's how we're going to get synchronized with a metronome. In order to play this stuff at any speed, if it's going to be useful musically, you've got to get it synchronized on the beat with a metronome. And if you want to get faster, you got to be able to measure how fast you're going, or else you won't know if you're getting faster. If you're just doing this, and that's all you're doing, trying to get faster, you won't know unless you can actually measure it and synchronize it with the metronome. So in order to synchronize, we have to go quite a bit slower just to get that. It's like to get on the merry-go-round. To jump on the merry-go-round, you have to slow the thing down so that you can walk up and run next to it and then jump on, and then you can speed it up when you're on it. So it's going to take some work getting used to staying in sync with the metronome, and that will be at slower speeds. Don't worry about it. We're doing a different kind of work. We're not working on like this fast twitch of how fast can you move it back and forth. This is more of a mental, neurological work of trying to stay in sync with that metronome as you're hearing the click coming in and you're executing, and your attention stays on that and you stay locked in time with it. So we're going to go to 60 beats per minute, and let me just demonstrate the exercise I'll have you do. There's the click. It's just going over and over. I'm going to listen to it first. That's step one, is you have to listen to it and get your body and your brain and your ears synced in with that click. Step two, chugga, chugga, chug. That's what you're going to do. Chugga, chugga, chug. Chugga, chugga, chug. Just say that out loud. That's what we're going to be doing with your pick. So now we're going to pick a note. You can do any open string. I'm going to jump around between all different notes as we do this. You can just do it in one spot if you want to. So pick a note, and you're going to imitate that chugga, chugga, chug. And in your right hand, this has to be down, up, down, up, down. Don't let it go backwards and go up, down, up, down, up. Then you'll be like, everything will feel upside down if you're doing it that way. So in the beginning, make sure you're really locking in with down, up, down, up, down. Chugga, chugga, chug. And choose a note. Chugga, chugga, chug. chugga, chugga, chug. Chugga, chugga, chug. Go back and forth between those. Put the metronome on 60 or slower if you need it. Go back and forth between saying it and doing it, say it and do it. And if you're having any trouble staying in sync with the metronome, just don't do it as rapidly as I just did. You can make the metronome slower, or you can just take more time in between to listen to those clicks. Chugga, chugga, chug. Chugga, chugga, chug. So you can give yourself extra time to listen between those clicks, or between when you're saying it and when you're playing it. Give yourself time to listen to those clicks so you can stay in sync with them. If you don't have time to listen to them, then you won't be able to stay in sync. So if you find yourself doing it like something like this, going chugga, 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 chug, there's no time to listen to the click unless you're listening while you're doing these things. And that is the hard part that we're trying to attack that problem. So in the beginning, make sure you have moments to listen, pay attention to that click, gather yourself, chugga, chugga, chug, and then gather yourself with your pick, down, up, down, like that. So obviously, next thing you can do is change the tempo. Move it slower if you need to, and you might actually just try going slower, even if you feel like you don't need to, because you'll find it's a different challenge. Oops. So now I've got it down to 50 beats per minute, quite a bit slower than 60. So now I have to know what this new tempo feels like. So first you listen. Second, you're going to say the chugga chuggas, and then you're going to do it with your pick. Chugga chugga chug. Chugga chugga chug. So you do that at a variety of tempos. Start at 60, see how that feels, and then go slower from there. After that, start going faster. Give yourself a wider variety of tempos. I've got it now on 69. Chugga, chugga, chug. Chugga, chugga, chug. So I'm doing that. Just each time I do these chugga chuggas, I'm going from one click to the next click. So I'm going chugga, chugga, chug. And I get 4 notes in between the clicks. So if I kept doing this, going chugga, 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 I'd be getting 4 notes on every click, but I only want to go from one click to the next. So I get chugga, chugga, that's 4 notes, and then chug, that's the 5th note on the next click. So going from one click to the next, you get the note on the click, then 3 notes in between, and then the next note on the click. But I'm not thinking about any of that when I just go chugga, chugga, chug, and you shouldn't either. Just imitate what I'm doing. Listen to your click, listen to your metronome, and go from one click to the next. I'm going to change it to 88 now. Chugga, chugga, chug. Chugga, chugga, chug. So if it starts to get too fast for your hand or for your voice, then you've found your limit for now. Don't bother going past that until you've done some of the exercises I'm about to give you. I'm going to try going extra fast. Let's see how 120 feels. Chugga, chugga, chug. Still fine for my voice. Chugga, chugga, chug. Still fine on my pick side, but if that's out of your picking speed, if it's not quite in sync yet, then spend your time working on slower speeds. Let's go up to what I think is probably my limit, probably just over 200. This is at 208. Let's see how this goes. Chugga, chugga, chug. Chugga, chugga, chugga. It's still a little bit fast for my voice, and I can just barely do it picking wise. I've practiced this enough so that I know that that's roughly where my limit is. So next thing we can do, we're going to take it all the way back to 60, our starting point. So that was exercise 1. Exercise 2 is going to be do a longer sequence of chugga chuggas. So now we're going to go chugga, 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 chug. So now we're going over 3 clicks. So before we were going over 2 clicks, from 1 click to the next one, going chugga, chugga, chug. Now we're going to go over 3 clicks. Chugga, 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 chug. And on the 3rd click is when we stop. Here's our tempo. We listen. Get that tempo in your gut. Chugga, 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 chug. Do it again with your voice. Chugga, 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 chug. Then try to put it on here. Go back and forth. Chugga, 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 chug. Chugga, 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 chug. And again, explore different tempos. After you've gotten used to that 60 beats per minute, let's try going slower. Bring it down to 50. Chugga, 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 chug. And let's bring it up to 100. Chugga, 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 chug. Chugga, 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 chug. And as before, explore all those different tempos when you're going over 3 clicks. Sorry, I got some wild people upstairs thumping down. Those are my kids. Next, we're going to come back to 60, and we're going to do the next step. This will be exercise 3. And we're going to go over 4 clicks, just a longer series of chugga-chuggas. So now it's going to go over 4 clicks. We're going to stop on the 4th one. Chugga, 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 chug. That's what we're going to do with our voice and then the guitar. Chugga, 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 chug. Chugga, 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 chug. You can count the clicks out loud if you want while you're picking if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, go slower. Chugga, 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 chug. And go faster. Chugga, 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 chug. And you take all the time you need on each one of those tempos and explore all the tempos in between. One other thing I like about this kind of tempo is there is a finite number of tempos to go between. I don't know if you can see it, but between, say, 100 and the ones around it, it's set to 100 right now. There we go. And it's not, the ones next to it are not 99 and 101, but they are, it goes down to 96 and up to 104. So it gives me this finite number of different tempos to explore. And I might tell myself, I'm going to do everything between 50 and 100, every tempo that's on here. And that doesn't give me like 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, this overwhelming number. It gives me maybe 20 different tempos between 50 and 100, maybe not even that many. So it's pretty digestible. You can like write these tempos down if you have a metronome that looks like this, and some phone metronomes look like this. Write the tempos down, or just do them in increments of 5, like 50, 55, 60, 65, and check them off as you do them. Exercise 1 was going between 2 clicks, and exercise 2 was going between 3 clicks. Write these different things down, add all the different tempos, and give yourself that experience of a variety of different tempos, because that's what's going to take you just a tiny bit out of context and force you to really listen to that click and really stay in sync with that click at slow tempos where it's easy, where it seems like it should be easy, but it's not at first. And when you can kind of work that out at those slower tempos, then at faster tempos, it's going to be much more possible, much more feasible to do this at like chugga 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 chugga, and stay on it indefinitely, going. Or do something like Thunderstruck is a perfect example of right hand doing tremolo picking. Left hand is pretty hard on Thunderstruck because you have to do a lot of synchronization between the hands. But right hand, that's all it does. It's just chugga, 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 the entire song on the right hand on one string. So those are your exercises. I hope you enjoy them. Let me know how they go. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.